Hey friends, hope everyone's doing okay. I want to do a review of my Filson Service Boots. And when you're lucky enough, I suppose, to own a bunch of pair of boots, like the amount of time you've owned a pair of boots kind of goes out the window. But I mean, we could call these boots like a year of hardware. Really, I've had them for about 3 years. But I wear them consistently, not every day. Did go through phases where I'd wear them, every other day. I've worn them abroad. Took these on a really fun trip to Ireland. Those super sentimental to me. But they're some of my favorite boots out of all the Vibergs, Wesco, Whites, Trumans that I own. These boots just scratch a certain itch that I think are super unique and super cool. Now, their main flaw is that Filson, well, first of all, they don't even make them anymore. They'll probably bring them back. They had them as a staple line for quite a few seasons, for quite a few years. But they retailed for like $368 or something. Or probably start around 350. But as soon as you price a boot, when you put a boot at that price point, it's like there's so much competition. I got these for way less. But even if they were a bit less, closer to the 200 range, I would say they're for sure an incredible buy, a great value boot. Obviously, the first thing that attracted me to these boots is these just the rough out on flesh, just like you know beautiful contrast. They've got this Vibram mini lug sole, Goodyear welted, leather stacked heel. I'd be shocked if they had a leather midsole, but this does look like leather, so maybe there is a leather midsole. Leather welt, 360 welt, and these are made in Portugal, and they're pretty much made in what seems to be a popular factory for like any bigger company that goes, hey, we want a decent quality boot, we want to charge a bunch of money for it, go make it, use whatever the heck last you have, because the Patagonia bison boots that they made a whole big deal about, how they were no longer wasting their bison hides and they're using it now to make boots, which if I had to guess was some kind of that just doesn't really farms don't go from, hey, we're gonna waste all this leather to let's actually use it to make boots. It's like they were either never wasting it or it was never good enough. Anyway, but those boots were Rose Anvil cut those boots in half, and it looks like the same boot, the same last. I'd be shocked if they weren't made in the same factory. But they have like a pretty non-offensive last. It's somewhat almond shaped, but still bulbous and round like a heritage boot. Yeah, those boots had a leather stacked heel. Again, those boots also, like, those retailed for like $400, and it's like, well, the minute you do that, you're just in another ball game, and I don't know why. I feel like, and I'm no businessman, but I feel like these companies would sell more boots if they charged what they're actually worth. I don't know why they go, well, we want to make so much profit, that like that way less people are going to buy them. I don't, maybe it's like they don't want to become boot companies. They don't want to move tons of values, tons of volume. So they're just like, well, we'll charge more, move less. But, so we have a boot, say we have a boot, but we won't have to keep tons of boots in warehouses and whatnot. I don't know. But I love these boots. They're super super comfortable. They have like a leather topped foam insole, and for me, they've been the perfect boot of like, all right, going somewhere for a week. I don't have much room. I can only take the shoes on my feet. What's a boot that could take it all? What's a boot that will, I'll be fine running through airports, through the city, but also on a hike, on just wherever the road may take me. I wouldn't take these on like a crazy, 10, 20, 30 mile hike. I wouldn't take them on a backpacking trip, but like honestly, they would be okay. They're pretty damn comfortable. They have a dedicated heel counter. I remember because I broke it in. Now it's all smooth, but there's a leather, there's a leather heel counter. At least leather topped. I'm sure the inside is synthetic. It's all, but yeah, man, these boots just rule. They've been so kind to me. It's like if I'm going on a trip for a week and I don't want to think about it, I wear these. They look great. I feel good wearing them, and they'll literally put up with anything I throw at them. They're comfortable enough for me to be walking around a city all day. Because say what you want, I know like people who really broke in their whites or their nicks. They're like, these are the most comfortable boots I've ever had. Probably something to do with the arch support, which like that makes a lot of sense. But I mean, I've got white smoke jumpers. Like I don't want to wear those all day, especially if I'm walking around like a concrete jungle. So there's that. That's just me personally. Like that's not comfortable enough. It isn't. I remember Nick from Stridewise was going off. He's like, let's all stop pretending that having a leather insole and a leather midsole and then a leather outsole and what like let's stop pretending that's the most comfortable thing. We all know sneakers are the most comfortable thing. And obviously they're not giving you wholesome support. Ultimately they're probably bad for your back. So when you have a great boot, it supports you, short term. It is a little rougher, but it's quite likely that, especially, I mean, depending on your body, but it is much more comfortable for you. This is a great middle ground for me, at least. If I'm running around all day, I've worn these on lots of farms. I've done farm work in these, and they clean up okay. I brushed them off. I've conditioned these maybe once, but the leather's doing great. It's just roughed up in the most beautiful way. Yeah, these are so comfortable, and they're doing that, and that's okay. Let's check out this other boot. Yeah, I really love these boots, and they just look cool. They look great. They look beautiful. It's a really really fun silhouette, especially after they're broken in. I'll do another video just like on Filson boots in general, and like how I think a company like Filson sort of it backs itself into this weird corner with footwear, where it could kind of do a lot, but also not enough. But there's something about a bigger company that tries to make a decent quality boot. Like J. Crew has been making some pretty interesting, very decent boots for quite a number of years. Problem is they put their MSRP up again around that 350 range. It's like, dude, you're competing with. I mean, you could get Wolverine 1,000 mile boots on sale for $200 every day, like every day. You can find Red Wings on sale all the time for $200. It's like, so you're competing with boots that are made in the USA, or at the very least much better than better quality. I've heard I don't own any 1,000 mile boots. I know there's people who live around that area of Michigan or where is it? Is it Wisconsin or something? Yeah, people don't seem to like that company. Apparently, they dumped a bunch of garbage in the river and haven't been very kind to their neighbors. But yeah, but J. Crew, but they go on sale all the time. So you could actually get like a really decent welted, Goodyear welted boot with a Vibram outsole, with a really nice upper that comes from CF Stead or Horween, or at the very least just like a very decent leather for $100. Granted it's made in El Salvador or China or whatever, but maybe I'll do a video on J. Crew boots. But similarly, Filson is a bigger company. They're not massive, but they're bigger than Truman. They're bigger than, well, they're not bigger than Red Wing. But, so for them to sort of tack on a couple of boots that sort of meet their aesthetics, meet their heritage, meet their history, you can actually get a really decent boot. And thankfully, they're not making garbage. Those Birkenstock collabs are garbage, but like for the most part, yeah. In general, Filson's offered some really nice quality boots over the years. Their Upland boots are my favorite. I own them. I'll do another video on those. And then yeah, but their service boots are kind of underrated. These are the whiskey brown color of the same boot. I also have them in burgundy. They call that the shop boot, but it's really service boot 2, and then the workshop boot. And then yeah, and they're Uplands, and I'll do sorry, these aren't laced, but I'll do a video on these. Yeah, I'll do just a roundup of all the Filson boots. If anyone might be interested, I think I just like them. You could like conceptualize like this is a great boot or this is not a great boot, but ultimately the ultimate test is which boot do you reach for more? Which one has served you best? Which one do you feel really comfortable with? Like, I booked a 2-week trip to Ireland. There wasn't a question. I was like, I'm gonna take these boots. They're perfect. Wore these on the cliffs of Moher. Wore them in Galway. Yeah. So they've been really really good to me, and I think they're really pretty. I think they're a great boot. Yeah, and I'm grateful for them. Yeah, man. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it was like kind of, Filson does get a lot of hate, and because they freaking deserve it. But they've also made some, and they keep making incredible products. Granted, they've moved more and more production overseas, which I don't like. But they still make a hell of a product, and these are one of them. I love these boots. So yeah, if you ever see these on the secondhand market or whatever, or they did have these at like Sierra Trading Post a few years back. But yeah, if you ever see these pop up and for a decent deal, I say hop on to them. Oh, I should say sizing. I usually don't talk about the sizing, but these, just take your sneaker size, not your boot size. So if that means something to you, go true to Brannock or half a size up from your Brannock. Certainly not a half size down. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a lovely day.